as we are still sharing in the chat box where we're located, we're going to go ahead and kick things off. Welcome everybody to Ignite After Dark Empowered. I'll talk about what empowered means for all of you in just a little bit. My name is Alana Hubert-Katz. I am, oh, people are loving this. By the way, that money thing, I don't know how to do that. Someone's gonna have to teach me that. I just saw the reaction button. That's fantastic. My name is Alana Hubert-Katz. I am a national KWU trainer, a local director of education and coaching for 9 different Keller Williams offices. And I started as an agent in 2015. So a little over 10 years ago, which is crazy to think. And I started as dual career. I had another job, got into real estate, a lot of things going on in the life. Let me ask this question. Anybody on here have another job and in real estate? Raise your hand or raise your digital hand. If your screen's on, I can use it, or you can raise your digital hand as well. All right. So if you've been in real estate, and for those just raising the hands on the thing, awesome, love that. Okay. So if you've been in real estate, let's say for over 90 days, and you can throw this in the chat box, has it been easy? Let's just talk some real talk to kick off Ignite After Dark. Has it been easy? Thank you. I say no, no, no. Okay. Anybody said yes on here? You haven't been in for 90 days. Yes, harder than you thought. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Because here's the thing. Here's the real thing, right? Can I just, it's 6 o'clock where I am. By the way, I'm in Maryland, DC, and Virginia. Currently, I live in Maryland, but I oversee offices in Maryland, DC, Virginia. So real estate is simple, not easy. It's simple because the roadmap's laid out. The top producers have laid out exactly what the plan is that works. It's not easy because it's work. It's work. It's not like HGTV, right? As if anybody else loves it like I do, it's not like that. I kind of thought it would be. So it is work, right? Now, the other thing is that anywhere you took your real estate classes, whether you were newer in real estate, a year in, 2 years in, or you're getting a nice foundational reset, as I like to call it, right? A little back to basics if you've been in for a few years. Ignite is a great thing to take every year because it gives you kind of that back to basics, just refresher, kind of kicks your business into gear. Your real estate courses taught you how to take a test. They taught you nothing at all about real estate. Not how to work with buyers, work with sellers, negotiate, price properties, talk commissions. It didn't teach you any of that, right? So the good news is you're all past that. Now it's time to have a little fun, make some money on the way, and help some clients. Ignite teaches you how to do that. Ignite is the foundational program. It's 5 weeks long. And what we're going to be going through in Ignite is we're going to be walking through. So Ignite is going to, so here's some Ignite logistics, and we'll get into the meat of tonight. So Ignite is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 3 nights a week for 5 weeks. Okay. 5 weeks long, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, not Friday. Someone last year tried to get on Friday and they're like, I can't get on. Well, because go have some fun, it's Friday. Now, every night is a different topic. It's taught by a different instructor. The instructors are trained certified national trainers, master faculty, top producing agents, the best of the best that we brought in to zoom into you from all around the nation to pour into each of the topics. How to work with buyers, how to work with sellers, how to even find business, right? In real estate, it's like, okay, you're telling me all these things, but I taught a class today at 12 my time at noon, and it was how to prepare for a listing appointment. And at the end of it, I said, this is great, but if you don't lead gen, if you don't find business, you're never going to use this information. So what we know about Ignite is the agents. Now, I get it. We all have lives. We have things going on. So I totally understand that. And every class will be recorded, minus any Zoom hiccups we sometimes have. But every class will be recorded. They'll be posted and shared at the end of every week. The end of every week, they will be shared out in a YouTube playlist. So you can go back. But I challenge all of you to, and if you're off of mute, please please go on mute, just because we have close to 200 people. This is awesome. I love it. Okay. So I challenge all of you to graduate Ignite. Here's what that means. Graduating Ignite means that you miss no more than 2 sessions. That's what graduating Ignite, because what we know, what we have proven, I've been a coach since 2017. I've worked with a little over 1,000 agents since then, locally and nationally. And what has been proven nationwide is the agents who graduate and play all in. I'm going to tell you what that means in just a minute. Ignite, number one, get into business that year. Usually within 90 days after Ignite, they are finding their clients, they are in business and they have business, right? And they outproduce, usually by 3 times, if not more, the agents who don't graduate Ignite. Okay, numbers tell a story. I'm not a fan of math, but I do love numbers because they tell a story, and I love stories. Anytime you take class with me, you're like, oh my God, she's here, she's going to tell a story, I know it. So I see some faces on here who have known me now for over a year, and they could probably nod their head and be like, yeah, she does love telling stories. So numbers tell a story. So again, try not to miss more than 2. If you do have to, absolutely watch the recording. You won't get as much out of it because you're not live. You can't ask questions, interact, but you'll definitely get enough to learn. All right. And in the chat box, put any questions regarding it. This Zoom link, save it. The Zoom link doesn't change. You do not have to keep registering every single night for Ignite. You can just click on the Zoom link. Sometimes Zoom likes to give me a little hiccup every time we launch this. I've been doing it for a few years where it does have you register every time, just so we can capture which nights you're attending and which nights you're not, to help you succeed. If that's the case, that's cool. Just put your information in, pop into Zoom. But put the Zoom link in your calendar. If you don't have a calendar, that's your first assignment, is by tomorrow, get one. You cannot be successful in real estate without one. I tried, trust me, I'm anti-calendar. I attempted for 6 months when I first started to be successful with that one and failed miserably. As we like to say, failed forward. I failed forward. Then I got a calendar, got a coach, attended trainings, put what was learned in trainings into action, right? So we're going to talk a lot about action tonight as we go through this. So throughout tonight's session, which goes until 8 o'clock Eastern time, fill in the blank for whatever the time is you are. Because I see it. Central time on here. I see Pacific time on here. We got a little mountain time. So whatever your time is, fill in the blank. So we're going to go for about the next hour and 45 minutes. And in that hour and 45 minutes, we're going to be going through 2 different topics, talking about your value as an agent. How do you talk about your value? How do you present yourself and your value to clients? Meaning, why should they choose you? That's really the name of the topic. Why should they choose you? People have choices. There's agents everywhere. So it's going to be the first topic. The next is we're going to talk all about how do you understand, get to know the market, and how do you talk to people about the market. One of my favorite questions whenever I'm with friends or family, actually it just happened. I was just in Dallas. Story number 1. I was just in Dallas this past week with family who I haven't seen since my 20s. By the way, I'm definitely not my 20s anymore. Okay, let's fast forward some decades. And they were like, what do you do? Because again, last time they saw me, it was many moons ago. I mentioned I was in real estate, and who wants to guess what their first question was? Any takers? Come off mute. What do you think?
How's the market?
That's it right there. Thank you. Exactly. Thank you, Patricia. How's the market? Right? So that is a very common question. And as agents, we want to be knowledgeable. You don't have to know everything. ChatGPT, AI platform, Gemini, Google, they're all your friends. And I'm also going to be sharing later some different platforms for all of you to have that are not in your student manual. They're not in your workbooks. They're like little extra goodies for showing up tonight. Cool. Okay, let's go ahead and share the screen and kick this off. And again, as we go through this, please, please, please ask questions in the chat box, raise your digital hand. If you do ask a question that is not on tonight's topic, it's on a different topic, I will let you know that's going to be covered in whatever night it is, whether it's Tuesday, Wednesday, next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, etc. I mentioned in the beginning that we are called Ignite After Dark Empowered. The reason for the empowered is every Tuesday and Wednesday is going to be the meat. It's going to be, it's funny, I said that to someone the other day and they're like Arby's. It's going to be the information that you never learn in real estate school, the foundational stuff that you need to be successful. Thursdays is going to be your leverage. Okay. Who would love some leverage in life to get a little time back in your life and to have real estate work while you sleep? Anybody want real estate to work while you sleep? Will you wake up and have a client one day?
I
Nobody at
do.
all? Oh, fantastic. Okay. I see like a hand raised and a head nod. Cool.
Me too.
Oh, love it. So every Thursday night is going to be technology night, right? Now, yes, this is Keller Williams. Yes, we're going to talk about Command, but we have a lot of guests on here. We have a lot of people from other places. Welcome. Everybody's invited to this. We can all learn because if one individual on here learns something to be able to take a new listing next week, that's going to help the rest of us who have buyers and vice versa, right? If we get a buyer, it's going to help our sellers. So all of us are in this together. We're all supporting each other. Real estate is not a solo sport in any way. It feels that way sometimes, but it's not. So yes, it is 5 weeks. Thank you. And I appreciate people answering some of those questions in the chat box as we go along. All right, so we're going to dive into defining your value. Here it is, the 6 core competencies of your business. This right here, right? And these are all in your student workbook, which I will share in the chat box just in case you didn't receive it. You'll also receive it again. Just so you know, you're going to get emails, a lot of emails over the next 5 weeks. It is not to annoy you, I promise.
Yeah, it's been shared, Elena. The workbook has been shared.
Oh, thank you very much. It is not to annoy you. These emails are coming, by the way. Hi, I'm the one sending them. They're coming from me. Myself and my partner, Matt Verdon, we are partners in Ignite After Dark. We put this together for all of you nationwide. And the emails are to give you reminders. Every email might have what class is coming up, who's teaching the class. It might have attachments to it from a teacher who talked about something they wanted to share with you. So every one of those emails is important to look at, okay? So in your workbook, you're going to have the 6 core competencies. Now, these 6 core competencies it's what we do as agents, right? We lead generate, which, by the way, simply means we talk to people, okay? Lead generation in its basic terms, definition means talking to people. Whether that means talking to people through voice to voice on the phone, right? Let me call my friend Rebecca in North Carolina right now and see if she has any real estate needs and remind her that I have partners in North Carolina and would love to help her with any real estate needs because I do know she's going to be selling her house soon, right? And I actually have her on my call list to call her tomorrow night about that because I can refer the business to somebody. It could be texting people. It could be DMing if you're big on social media, DMing. It could be in person. An agent in one of our Maryland offices just landed a new buyer while shopping at Lowe's. They were buying something at Lowe's. They were seeing someone get a bunch of paint and different things. They struck up a conversation. Turns out that person's looking to buy or is looking to buy a house. Well, sell a house and buy a house. So twofer. So lead generation is the number one core competency. I was trying to think of other words. Core competency, the number one most important item to help you be successful as an agent. If you do not lead generate, you will never have number 2 through 6. If you do not talk with people, nothing else exists. So we talk to people, we capture them, we convert them for appointments, right? We are, in essence, appointment setters. We build relationships, we set appointments. When we set appointments, we go on appointments, then we get people to sign agreements, right? Buyer agreements, seller agreements. Now, I will share that in a few slides, I'll talk more about this. We will not be in any Ignite class talking about commissions, and I'll talk about that in a few slides and why. So you're going to talk about agreements. We also don't talk about contracts through Ignite because every state is different. So you can't, don't ask any contract specific related questions throughout any of the Ignites, because we as instructors are not allowed to talk about that, because what's true in Maryland might be not true. Well, I know for a fact because I coach someone in New York, totally different contract. So if I were to say something, they would do something wrong, they would get in trouble. So no contract questions on Ignite. See your broker about that. Number 3, we show buyers and market sellers. Okay, we show buyers homes and we market sellers homes. We write and negotiate contracts. We coordinate the sale to closing. Once you have something under contract, it does not end. It is not over until keys are handed over. I've seen hundreds upon hundreds, and I recognize a few names on here who've been in real estate for a while, and they're probably sitting there nodding their head like, yep, hundreds of deals fall through last minute. Day before, the week before, one of our top agents at our Mark Center just had something fall through last week, and it was 2 days before settlement, meaning closing. It's going to happen. The more business you do, it's going to happen even more. It's going to happen. Okay, just know that's part of real estate. And then manage the money. One of the Ignite classes, it will not be tonight, but one of the Ignite classes actually talks about best practices for we're not accountants, we're not giving you accountant advice, but best practices on your commissions, managing it, what comes in, what goes out, etc. John, I just see a hand raised.
Yeah, hi. Just the slide that we're looking at right now, is that supposed to be in our student guide? Because it's not in mine. I'm trying to follow along and I'm not finding that in my student guide.
It's
I think someone just put in the
5.3.
chat. Yeah, 5.3.
5.3.
I'm sorry?
5.3.
So if you
Thank you.
scroll down to chapter 5, it's the third, 5.3.
Page 76.
Now, I will tell everybody this. I really appreciate that. I will share with you. Ignite is traditionally 4 hours long per session. Nobody has 4 hours on a Zoom. Nobody even has 4 hours in person anymore. Okay, so what we've done through the years, right, this isn't just tonight, what we've done through the years of doing Ignite is pulled out to be able to deliver all of you the most critical information that's going to help you. So getting rid of a lot of the fluff and just giving you what's going to be most meaningful for you to understand, learn, grow, and get in production with. So as you're flowing through that student participant guide, you will most likely get lost a lot during this because I'm going to skip probably a bunch of the pages. However, I want to make sure all of you had that guide because it is really a great resource, and feel free, you can take pictures of this. I can also show you where all these slides are so you can have access to every single one of these slides as well. But that participant guide is a great guide, and there's a table of contents to go back and review and just use as a resource for you as an agent as well.
So we really shouldn't be trying to follow along with our guides right now because it's going to be a little confusing, right?
It might be a little confusing, yes.
Okay, thank you for that because
No, I appreciate you bringing that up because that would have been great for me to say in the very beginning. So I appreciate that. Thank you, John.
sure.
All right. So let's talk a little bit about mindset. I'm not going to go into great detail here, but this slide is extremely important. So we're going to take a little wager, not wager, we're not betting or anything. There's nothing to bet, like bragging rights maybe, about what percentage of real estate is mindset? What percent of what we do in real estate is mindset? What do you guys think? How much of our mindset? I see 75, I see 80, I see 100.
80%.
100, I hear 80. Oh my God, I saw it. What did I see? 10,000 there. I love that. 100, 100.
Like 75.
99. This is great. 1,000.
100%.
100%. That was fun. Okay. So if you look up and research in the Millionaire, so there's the MREA book, it's called the Red Book. It's the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book. It will say about 80% of real estate is mindset. As a coach and someone who's worked with thousands, and as an agent myself for over 10 years, I am going to say it is 100%. And here's why I say that. By the way, any classes you take with me, you're going to have a little psychology poured into it because my background is actually education and psychology. So I love bringing psychology into things. The reason why I say 100% is as a real estate agent, you are business owners. Your real estate brokerage, your market centers, your support umbrella. But you yourself are the owner of your business, right? It is the, what's up, Will Reed? It is the Will Reed business. It's the Wei Sean business. By the way, if I say your name, it's simply because I see the little Brady Bunch boxes on my screen, okay? I'm not calling you out. I'm just happens to see the name on the screen. So we make a choice as agents. We make a choice every day. We make a choice every single morning when we wake up. What are we going to do in real estate today? And if we have another job, and let's say we get home from our other job at, let's go with 5, right? And we have like, maybe we give ourselves like a good 15-minute like snack break. And we're like, all right, 5:20, 5:30, I'm diving into real estate. I'm going to pour 5:30 to 7 o'clock into real estate tonight. That's a mindset. We are choosing to do that. Now, we might say it might be on our calendar. If we don't do it, we choose not to do it, right? So all of it truly is 100% mindset because we're choosing what we are doing in real estate. If you are not lead generating, meaning if you're not talking to people on a regular basis, and we'll talk about what regular basis means in a probably about 30 minutes. If you're not talking to people on a regular basis, then what is happening is you are choosing to actually not have business because you can't have business without talking to people in real estate. That's the whole secret of real estate, by the way, talking to people.
Okay, got it.
So there's another way to look at this. And in real estate, we follow what's called the 80-20 principle. Okay. There's actually a really good book about this. In one of the emails this week, you'll have, anytime I mention a book or things in the emails that go out this week will be the links to the different books. Okay. So when I say pay attention to the emails, they'll have all the links to the different books that we mention and things like that for you to look up and choose what you want to do with that. But what the 80-20 principle is, it's also known as, if you've heard of it, as the big rock theory. Okay. 20% of our activities, 20% of our actions, what we do, produce 80% of our results. Now, what's interesting is there's real estate researchers out there. Okay. And they research every year, they do tons of research in real estate just in general, every brokerage, every agent, top agents, etc. And what they also find true nationwide year over year for the pretty much the history of real estate, well, I'll say the last 10, 20 years, and prior to that, 20% of the agents do 80% of the business. Let me say again, 20% of the agents do 80% of the business. Now, that's not because there's not enough business out there. There's plenty of business out there. There's always someone who's looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate. Don't discount the investors. Okay, people want to build wealth. It's because that 20% have, the mindset that leads them to do the right actions or activities of talking to enough people to set the right number of appointments to move forward to get the business they're looking for and find the clients. All right. Now we have to switch gears and go into a few little logistics. I'm going to fly through these slides, but just know that you will get all of these materials. Number one, anytime we talk about making phone calls or sending text messages, please follow the TCPA Act, the do not call list. If you don't know what that is, look it up, Google it. We will be sending out material for you to research on that. It is a real thing. Agents 100% do get fined. Not just agents, people in general, not just real estate agents, people in sales. It's a real thing. People do get fined. Please follow it. Do not call people on the do not call list. All these materials are examples, negotiating commissions. We will not be talking commissions on here. All commissions are negotiable, right? It's our business. They're all negotiable. We will not be teaching about commissions through Ignite because every state has different legalities. Please follow fair housing. If you don't know what that is, look it up. Also talk to your broker about that, especially when you're creating things. Also, we're going to talk Ignite. We're going to talk a lot about using AI. AI as real estate agents should be one of our best friends. I think I've used it 100 times just in the past 2 hours before this, right? I'm actually going to share ChatGPT as one of the screens in sometime tonight and show some best practices of what you can do with it. Just know that please, anything you do with AI, review it for accuracy, errors, et cetera, et cetera. It is not the end all be all. Okay. All right. That was me flying through those slides here. So let's talk a little bit about today's agenda. We're going to go through the value proposition, why that matters, how you talk about it. Then after that, we're going to talk about the market, and then we're going to open it up with what your homework is. Action items. We talked all about action, right? Action items are every single Ignite, there will be action items. Because again, if you just attend trainings to simply attend trainings and you don't put something into practice or into play or into action, you're just attending trainings. You're learning a lot, but not doing a lot. So actually, you got a little sneak peek. Let me ask this question. What is a value proposition? What do you think that is? You can put it in the chat box or you can raise your little digital hand there. What do you think a value proposition is? What does that mean as a real estate agent? All right, see some chat here. So let's see. What you offer yourself, exactly, your self-value, what you bring to the table. Love that, what you bring to the table. What you do better than anyone else. Your worth, your value. What am I worth to the client? Love these. Absolutely. Thank you. Yes. Your value proposition is you. It's you. Now, a lot of agents, if you are newer to the business, meaning you are, I'll say a year or less in, and you haven't had closings yet or clients yet, a lot of newer agents always have, I work with a lot of new agents and they're always like, well, I don't have one yet because I haven't worked with clients. I want you to throw that myth out the window. Yes, you do, because you have a history, you have something. What have you done? Have you ever worked in customer service? Have you ever worked with people? What do you bring to the table? Do you feel you're a really good, strong communicator? Are you just a really genuine, caring person? Right? So your value proposition is your unique, memorable self. It's a statement about who you are, right? And it's sharing with your clients, why should they hire you? Why should they trust you? So we're going to do a little activity right now, and we'll dive back into the slides. I want you to take the next minute and a half, we'll give it. Right. Now, by the way, any activity we do here, it's going to be a shortened activity, but these are great activities to spend longer time on. And by the way, when I talk about this activity right now, ChatGPT is something that I know I've used it to help me create different value propositions for myself. So feel free to, if you're big on chat, use that to help yourself as well. So we're going to take the next minute and a half-ish and start creating your value proposition. Now, you don't have to have it perfect sentences. Maybe it's just words to start, but what sets you apart? What do you think sets you apart? What would your friends and family say set you apart? Okay, so take a minute, take a piece of paper, whatever you're writing on, taking notes on, however you like to take notes, and just start writing down some words. What sets you apart? What do you bring into the table? I like that phrase someone said in here. And just think about those words. Is it, if you're by the way, if you're really stumped on this, I found a great best practice and I would recommend right after tonight's class, doing it right away. Text really close friends or family that you have that you trust. Say, hey, I'm a real estate agent. I'm trying to, just create kind of my value proposition, like who I am, what my value is. What words would you use to describe me? Now, careful what friends you choose to ask that to. I have very sarcastic, joking friends, and I asked that of one of mine and got a lot of words. I was like, I will not use any of those. But it is fun. But they know us best sometimes, and we are our worst critics. We as people, as human beings, are typically more critical of ourselves and don't always see the value we bring that others see. Ew, that was super loud, wasn't it? All right. So I'd love to hear, throw in the chat box, or if I can get someone to raise their hand and come off mute, I'd love to hear something someone wrote down.
I just had a question. I just wanted to make sure I understood. You said, ask the friends what they think my values are, or what they think are my best
Yeah,
characteristics.
so let them know, like, listen, I'm working on, and you can tell them why, right? Really, if your friends aren't in real estate, tell them why you're doing this. I'm working on, my value, my unique value proposition that I can share with clients. I can share with buyers and sellers. I'm going to help. What words we use to describe me? Now, again, I go into that statement with every one of my friends saying positive words, professional words, because I have to specify that with some of my friends. Pauline, I see your hand up. Are you looking to share yours? I'd love to hear somebody's.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what I always use is like I do interior designing and I do people home for Christmas. And I think that sets me apart because I care about family and family-oriented people, and I try to put my feet in the person's shoe. So they feel understood, because I feel like when people buy their homes and I go to help them, set up the furniture before they move in, or they're like, oh, this person didn't really care. Now you have to do this, because you were the designer person. If you didn't figure it out, I wouldn't have figured it out. So I think that is what sets me apart, and I guess bring more clients to me for my business. Is they're like, you care and you're authentic. They have questions they can ask me. Even if I don't know, I try to solve problems for them. We can find it together.
I love that. You know what words I heard that stood out there? I heard solve problems together. I can help you solve problems, right? It's like buying a house, selling a house is stressful. Even if they've done it before, it doesn't matter. It's stressful, right? So when you can say, I solve problems, I take care of this, and you use the word care, right? Those are things that, again, don't put these words in your thing if that's not your, greatest. Don't put over communicator if you typically ignore phone calls and text messages.
Yeah,
Yeah. So be
definitely.
true to yourself, and it sounds like you are with exactly what you said. That's awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, let's hear one more.
Can
Actually,
I,
really, so we're gonna
can
hear
I
two
talk?
more. So I'm gonna go with the hands here that are raised. Is it next one in line? If I say your name wrong, I apologize. Is it Humberto?
Yeah, you said it perfectly fine.
Oh, wonderful.
I went to a listing appointment, and I was the third agent interview that day. And the family asked me, "Why should we go with you?" I said, "Oh, you absolutely don't have to. It's just that I am a one-stop shop, and I can provide you with contractors at your disposal for whatever needs you have. I have a team of 4 different lenders, insurance agents. So just about any question that you could possibly have, you are one text away from getting an answer. So all
So
of that,
you're coming across as the resource. You're like,
yes, I
I'm
connect
your
people. That's what I
go-to.
do. I connect people. I work heavily with investors and all kinds of lenders. So you don't have to go with me. Absolutely not. I'm just telling you what I do for a living, and that is probably different than what most agents tell you. Oh, I've been on business for 7 years, 17 years, 24 years. I've sold $3 million. No, no, it's meaningless to me. So if you have a problem, I solve it. Simple as that.
I love that. What's really important there to note is, here's the thing. Clients, our buyers and sellers, they now I'm going to say this, and I know it could come across the wrong way, and I don't mean it to come across the wrong way. So I'm just going to apologize in advance. And that's, they don't care about us. They care about how much we care about them, but they don't care about us, meaning they don't care that you sold 20 homes or 30 homes or this home or that home. They don't care that you drive, I mean, yes, be professional, look professional, etc. But they don't want us to start spewing at them some sales pitch. They want to know how we can help them. They want to know we can be a resource to them. They want to know that we care. They want to know that we are going to be there to help them every step of the way with their dream, whatever that is. Something bigger, something smaller, moving to a different state, moving to a different country, whatever that looks like. All right, let's go with one more and then we'll move on. Is it Tisa?
That's exactly how you see it.
Oh,
How you guys doing?
good.
Well,
Go
I'm
ahead.
going to go with I'm driven by honest love of my community, which makes me provide service negotiation rooted in transparencies and fairness and dedication. I go above and beyond, and I'm available at any time of day.
Love that. So dedication, fairness, right? So when you're thinking, thank you so much. When you're thinking of your value propositions, there's certain words. Notice how every one that we just heard was different, but the theme of every one of them was, number one, they came across, everyone that shared, thank you so much, they came across very genuine. Like they are truly, I don't even know you, but they came across as they are truly who you are as a person, right? And that's what people want. They don't want a robot. They don't want this. There's no such thing as this perfect real estate professional. People do business with people they like and they trust and they relate to, period. Right? So on the screen here are a few other things you can share in yours. Especially if you have not worked with a client yet, so you don't have any experience in real estate, you can also add to yours that you have access to the collective knowledge and experience of nearly 200,000 agents worldwide. Right? So if I'm going to a listing appointment, I might add in there, listen, I'm with Keller Williams. We're the world's largest real estate franchise, and we network our listings to not just the world, but internally to our close to 200,000 agents worldwide. So it's a bigger pool. That's value, right? Obviously, you can read the other ones here and, fiduciary, market expert, etc. But again, it's just what words talk to you, what feels comfortable coming out of your mouth at ease, so it's very genuine, and just say it over and over and over and over and over till you can literally get in an elevator with someone, go onto the penthouse, and they're like, oh, tell me a little about you, and you just have it down packed. So let's move on and talk a little bit about the purpose of real estate. Here's the thing. The purpose of real estate: to work with buyers, right? And the buyer's goal is to find the right home. Our goal is to find the right home for the buyer at the best price in the right time with the least amount of problems. Are there going to be problems? Absolutely. Will things pop up? Definitely. There's no getting away from that. We're dealing with people, we're dealing with money, we're dealing with purchases, we're dealing with finances. There's so many factors, things will happen. Our job is, number one, to stay cool, calm, and collected throughout. Meaning we might be screaming on the inside because something's happening, but don't show your client. They're already freaking out. So we need to bring almost like the calmness to them. Like, we're going to be fine. Like, let's move forward. I'm your problem solver, to use words I just heard someone say, right? And on the seller side, the goal is to net the most amount of money. Here's the thing. Sellers truly care about one thing. Can you market my house to sell it and net me the most amount of money? And do I trust you? Right? To do that. Right? So net the most amount of money in the shortest amount of time with the least amount of problems. Now, for those of you who have not read the Millionaire Agent, the MRA book, the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book by Gary Keller and Jay Papasan. Highly recommend it. And we call it the Red Book. It is truly a how-to book. It's a how-to guide. Start in the beginning. It's literally how to get started in the business. And it's interviews and best practices of top producers. Top 10 service areas of buyer's value proposition, right? So what this means, we're here to do a needs analysis, meaning that just simply means we're here to find out what the buyer's looking for, what are their wants and needs, what's most important to them, right? And what is their motivation? Why do they actually want to buy a house? That's really important. To pre-qualified, pre-approved, get them connected to, unless they're a cash buyer, then let's go, but get them connected to the right local lender to get them pre-approved. Provide them with neighborhood information. Help and do, not help, but do the home search for them. I worked with an agent back in the day. They're no longer an agent, not because of any other reason than they just didn't enjoy it. But I remember they had a buyer, and the buyer kept sending them emails and text messages of homes they want to go see. So the agent was sitting back waiting for the buyer to send them messages. My question to this agent was, why should they pay you then? How are you providing a service? We need to do the due diligence. We need to do the searches. We need to think outside the box to find them the home they're looking for. The buyers will not get everything. They usually get about 70% of what they're looking for. No, it's no such thing as 100% unless maybe they do like a brand new build exactly how they want it, right? We make offers, we negotiate for them, we coordinate the vendors, we help coordinate the vendors, we pre-close preparation, meaning we help gather all the information, make sure everybody has their ducks in a row. Everything's lined up. And then obviously we sit at that table, we smile as they are handed the keys or handing over the keys if they're selling. We take pictures for social media with approval of them. And then there's post-closing, and post-closing is how are we congratulating them? How are we celebrating what just happened? And how are we following up? Right? In real estate, it's really important to know this. It's not in these slides. It's in your book, but I think it's some sessions down the road. One of the things that's really important to real estate is to realize we're not transactional. Yes, real estate is in its essence transactional, meaning there's a product in a sense, right? There's a sale and there's money delivered. But at the end of the day, it is not transactional, meaning we are relational, right? Relational means I'm not here to say, all right, Pauline, I'm going to help you buy a house. Here's your house. You closed on the house. I make commission. Have a great life. That's transactional. Relational is I'm going to help you along the way. Great. Here's the house. What other resources do you need? Right? Maybe they need a landscaper. Maybe they need a roofer. Maybe they need, they bought a pool and they need someone to take care of that for them. Right? A cleaning person, etc. Then it's afterwards, staying in touch. How are they doing? Do they want to purchase an investment property? In 3 to 5 years, are they thinking of selling again? Because most people do, sell their homes in 3 to 5 years now. Right? Do they have family members that need help? How can we help them if we provide such a great service? That's referrals, right? So post-closing is a lot bigger than just congratulations. By the way, Tisa, I see your hand up. I did not forget about you. Let me come to you. Did you have a question, or was it just up from the previous thing?
I forgot to put it down. Sorry.
No problem. I just didn't want to forget about you if you had a question. All right. So what do buyers want from their agents? Right? Again, we kind of touched on this. So here's a little graph. By the way, you'll see it says 2021 is a little outdated, but I will tell you these numbers kind of hold true to today. These are pulled from it's a great website, the National Association of Realtors website, NAR. If you're ever wanting to know like stats or numbers, or you want to speak about numbers, that's an amazing resource. Also, when we get into the next slides talking all about the market, that's one of the resources I will talk about. right? Because again, it gives you national numbers on things. So 52% want an agent who can just help them find the right home to purchase. Look at that. The largest chunk of this pie is, can you help me find the right home? Not, have you sold 100 homes before? Not, what you drive or your sales tactics or whatever. It's just simply, can you help them, right? Then it's helping buyers negotiate the terms of sales, help with the price negotiations, and other. And other is literally anything under the sun that you can possibly think of that a buyer might need or want. Okay, so one thing I want to point out here is this 20% agent is honest and trustworthy. All right, so I mentioned in the beginning, I like stories, so it's story time. All right. 2018, I was coaching a group of agents. This one agent just started, and in 4 months in, she ended up landing her first listing. It was around 600 some $1,000, her first listing. That listing, by the way, was not a friend or family member. It was actually a for sale by owner, someone trying to sell it on their own, and they were tired of it, so they hired her. 1 month later, so 5 months as a new agent, 5 months as a new agent, she landed a $1.3 million listing. Right? Now, that's not the norm price in our area, by the way. So it's not like every house is $1 million. So she landed a $1.3 million listing. The seller of the home was interviewing 2 other agents. One of the other agents, who was high up in the running, was the top agent in that area for 25 years. Top #1 agent in that area that everybody knew, very reputable, for 25 years. Here's brand new agent of 5 months. Brand new agent of 5 months got the listing. Does anybody want to know why? How did this new agent get the listing? Who wants to take a guess? Let me see what you got in the chat box here. Personality, absolutely. They meshed. Mindset, she showed up to, actually, Joy, I love that you said that. She showed up on time to the interview. I can't tell you how many agents lose out on things simply because they're a few minutes late. Honest, technology, honest, available. Yes. Here's the thing. She asked after the home was listed, right? So got on the market, all of that. She actually was sitting there with the seller one day and they're having some coffee. And she said, I have to ask you, what had you choose me over the other agent I know you were interviewing? The seller simply said these words: I just liked you better. I just liked you better. That was it. They formed a connection. They had a relationship. She just simply liked her better, right? So again, if you're on here and you have kind of that mindset, again, it's 100% mindset, that mindset of, oh my God, are people going to hire me? I don't know. She went into that listing. Now, I obviously, as a coach, helped prepared her, but she went into that listing and she said she showed up 15 minutes early, not to the door, but in her car. And in her car, she sat there going, this is my listing if I choose to accept it. It's a mindset. This is my listing if I choose to accept it. She went in exuding confidence, even though she was terrified. I think her and I talked a good hour the night before because she was flipping out. Right. So it was like talking her back on the ledge, like, no, it's going to be fine. Right. You're going to be nervous. You're going to, as you get, the more closing you have, the less and less nervous you get about it. A little nervousness all the time never hurts anybody. So what do sellers want? It's very similar, right? Help price the home competitively. Help seller market home, help market the home to potential buyers, right? How are you getting it out there? Right? Help sell the home within a specific time frame. People are looking to sell their house for a reason. They don't just wake up in the morning and go, I think I'll sell my house today. You know what? I'm going to call Deborah and just see if I can sell my house today. They probably thought about it for the last 6 months, 8 months, even maybe a year. They probably talked about it with family members or friends. They probably went online and did research already on things, right? And they're looking to sell for a reason, right? There's a gentleman in my office just landed a listing, and the reason why they're looking to sell is because, so we live in Maryland, so a lot of government workers. was a husband and wife, and one of them who worked for the government just lost their job. So they only have one income. They cannot afford the house. They have to sell. People sell for a reason. The reason's usually a pain point. They need more space, less space, can't afford it, et cetera, et cetera. Very similar thing, right? What are they looking for? Reputation of an agent. Agent is honest and trustworthy. By the way, let me point out that reputation thing really quick, because it's important to note what that actually means. A lot of people are like, well, what does that actually mean? Your name is your brand. How you show up on social media. People are looking at you. I worked with an agent, and his very first buyer he ever had was under a buyer agency agreement. They went out looking at houses, and about 2-3 weeks in, the buyer sends him an email and fires the agent. They didn't like something the agent posted on social media. Now, this is a social media class tonight. We do have those coming up soon. Just know that everybody is looking at everything you do and say. As a real estate agent, you are your brand. Your person, who you are as a person and how you show up is your brand. How you present yourself to other agents is your brand. There was an agent I worked with back in the day, I will not name, because they still are an agent, who to this day, she has a very tarnished brand. Agents know her name, and it's not in a good way at all. To this day, over 10 years later, right? So just understand that as you go in, as you're working with other agents, right? Nobody's out to get you. Like we're all in this together. We all want to help our buyers and sellers get to the table with what they're looking for regarding selling their home, buying a home, moving, etc. All right. So to kind of summarize this and move on a little bit, number one, identify, we talked about this, identify who you are, right? Identify your knowledge, attitudes, skills, beliefs. One activity I highly, highly recommend doing, we did it for a minute and a half tonight. I highly recommend doing this. By the way, 80-20 principle, 20% of you are going to do this. 80% will not. I don't know which 20 is going to do it. I also love when people email me and share what some of their activities they do. It just puts a big smile on my face, just to be honest with you. It also helps me talk to other agents about the successes. So one activity I recommend doing is set aside, you don't need a lot of time, I would say 30 minutes between now and Sunday, and just sit there and really type up, right? And having your phone, have it somewhere where you can see it, you can read it on a regular basis, but type up that value proposition, right? What do you want that to say? Make sure it flows smoothly as you say it off your tongue. That's very natural for you. It's not forced. It's not something you think others want to hear. It's truly just you, right? Transform the value you provide and the value of KW in your market or whatever brokerage you're with. We have tons of guests on here, and your market center into benefits for your clients. How do you tie everything together in a pretty package, right? Put a little bow on it, right? How do you share? Now, I know at Keller Williams we do this. Every single market center has what we call our language of real estate. Language of real estate are numbers that the market center puts out that you as an agent can use in your presentations, in your conversations, right? So go to your different leadership and ask them, like, what do you have that I can use as I'm gaining my own numbers and my own skill sets? As I mentioned, between now and Sunday, put that together, practice it, read it out loud. Okay. Now I'm going to go to the next slide in just a minute, but before I do, I just wanted to check the chat box here. Oh, thank you so much. I love this. People are just sharing thought. I love the chat box as you're going through Ignite, because yes, every night you're going to have a different instructor. Every night it's going to be a different topic that you're learning, but we're also learning from each other. There's people on this call right now. I see names. There's people on this call who've been in the business a year, 2 years, 3 years, etc. So absolutely, if you have a best practice, if you know something, just make sure it's compliant. Make sure it's not state specific. Don't share anything state specific in the chat box through Ignite, because people can get in trouble. But share it. Absolutely share it. All right. So let's talk a little bit about what to do next, right? And then we're going to move on to the market. Actually, we're going to do an activity, then move on to the market. So as you go through Ignite, there's what's called the daily 10-4. By the way, yes, this is in your guide. If someone's following along and you know how to search for things, it's called the daily 10-4. So what the daily 10-4 is, hold on, I'm actually going to share something in the chat box for all of you right now to give you a little cheat sheet of it. It's going to be just a second. Okay. So the daily 10-4 is having 10 conversations, 10 real estate conversations per day. Okay. And as I'm talking, I'm literally typing this in the chat box as we're going. 10 handwritten notes. We're going to talk about that in just a minute because people are like, handwritten notes? What are you talking about? Does that even exist anymore? 10 handwritten notes. Now, the daily 10-4 is 10 handwritten notes daily. I will tell you, as I've taught Ignite now, oh my goodness, well over 100 times, definitely over the years, to thousands upon thousands upon thousands of agents. Handwritten notes is a lost art. If you can do 10 handwritten notes per week, you are setting yourself up for success, and you are setting yourself way apart from other agents out there in a very, very good way. And we'll talk about that in just a minute. What's called the 10-5-1 for social media engagement. I'm going to share that in here as well. So you're getting the little cheat sheet of it right here. Okay. All right. So let me go back here. Share my screen back. Give me 1 second.
Can I ask a question about the handwritten notes?
Absolutely.
Hi, my name's Jenny. I
Hi.
love handwritten notes and people love getting them, right? But I feel like sometimes I don't know what to send them if there's not a birthday or I didn't do an event or I just sometimes get stuck. Do you have ideas? Or should I just go to ChatGPT, maybe?
Okay. So love that question. Thank you. Okay, number one, yes. Love ChatGPT, absolutely. And by the way, a little trick for ChatGPT, if you don't know it, when you go there, say act as a real estate agent or act as a new real estate agent. So you're telling Chat to act as something and provide me with different examples. And me personally, I love a friendly tone. Like I don't want to be too professional. Yes, I'm professional, but that's, I'm professional and I want to be a friendly tone. So I usually say, provide me with a number of examples in a friendly tone to send handwritten notes to friends and family. And it will give you tons of options. Now, okay, so there's one answer. Now, second answer to that is you have birthdays, anniversaries. You can obviously friend people on social media. Do you see something happen? Did their kid win an award? Did they just graduate something? Did something happen in their life? Did someone get a new job? Right? You can also simply just write a "Hi, I've been thinking about you" note, especially if it's someone you haven't talked to in a long time. Right? Obviously, if someone sends you a referral, you definitely want to shoot them over a note card saying thank you. My note card simply says, and I have tons of them kind of pre-written, to be honest with you, because let me have it all prepped, because if it's not prepped, I mean, envelopes are stamped, the notes cards are, and by the way, I just bought a huge box off of Target, or no, Amazon, because nothing fancy. They all pretty much look the same. I think they're like nature scenes. But they're little thank you note cards, and my note cards say, thank you so much for referring, and then I fill in the blank with their name. Referrals are the lifeblood of my business. Really appreciate you. That's it. That's all I do. Like that's my note. Nothing extra. I keep mine short and sweet because if I don't, I probably won't do a note card. So those are just a few examples, but yes, and definitely go to chat. John. Oh, come on.
Hello. again, how do you feel about there's, I'm not sure how many, but I know there's a few services out there that will generate handwritten cards, and I used them in a previous business, and they look legitimately like a real handwritten card.
Love them.
And I'm just saying that because I have horrible writing. So, and you
So-
can pick out your style of writing, and people literally think that you wrote the card.
Okay, so I'm going to give two answers based on something you just said. Number one, three answers. One, lead with revenue, meaning if you're not making money yet, I don't recommend spending money on those services because they can get pricey over time. But that could be something you want to invest in, or if you have another job and you're like, let me take some of this money and do that. There is nothing wrong with that. I have a coach and she uses a service and I love getting her cards. They're fantastic. They're wonderful. Now, I will say this, there's an agent that I know in another state, and he is the king of note cards. I have more thank you cards and hi cards and happy birthday cards and just I've been thinking about you cards than any other person. I literally have a drawer at my office of just cards from this guy, right? His name is Jeff. And there is where he lives he lives in Virginia. Where he lives in Virginia, I will never use another agent but him if I have to refer a business.
Yeah, because
His
not only do they
handwriting,
generate
I can't read a word of it.
they
I
actually
can't
you
read
can-
one word, but his
you can-
handwriting is actually what makes it stand out. Because I look at it, I'm like, I can't read one lick of this handwriting. So I actually kind of like, let me try to read this. But it actually makes it more memorable than any other person I've gotten something from. So don't be I will tell you my handwriting. There's many years I have not done this, especially in the beginning, because I'm embarrassed of my handwriting. It is horrible, like a 2-year-old. I'm just gonna be very vulnerable and tell everybody that right now. So if anybody ever gets a card from me, you'll know. Yeah, so don't be embarrassed about the handwriting. I say just go for it. But if you have the funds, I love the services. So the other things that I want to share. So again, 10 conversations a day. That is talking to 10 people a day, 5 days a week, 50 in a week. Now, here's the reason behind that number. There are studies done. Numbers tell a story, data tells a story. And the story is when we connect as on average, okay, I'm going to use these words, but we're being recorded. On average, when we connect as real estate agents with 50 people in a 7-day period, meaning 50 people in a week, out of those 50, one, sometimes in the spring it's 2, one has a real estate need now. Now meaning within the next 3 months. That's now. So if someone says December, that's now. 3 to 5 out of those 50 have a real estate need within the next 4 to 12 months. So there was an agent I coached who week after week after week was just struggling and struggling and struggling. And she came to me, she goes, I'm just not getting appointments. This isn't working. And I was like, okay, well, let's talk through this. Now she thought she needed to practice like overcoming objections and closing tactics, which is great. Yes, you always want to practice those things. But I asked one question. I said, how many people did you connect with this week? Again, connect is I text them, they text me back, I saw them in person, phone calls, DMs. It's a two-way back and forth. She said 8. 8 people in 1 week. Now, we have to start somewhere. So I shared with her, I was like, great. We need to get that number up. So the conversation took a turn to how do we get that number up? Because 8 people in a week, you'll probably have maybe 1 closing in a year. Now I'm just giving an average. I'm just giving a rough estimate. I don't want to scare anybody. Okay, things can happen. I'm just saying that 8 will not, if you have certain goals, 8 a week will not cut it, right? So that's where the 10, we didn't just make up the number 10. There's actually a proven numbers with that. Adding contacts, that means adding them to your database system, whether you're with Keller Williams and it's Command or a database system is a customer relationship management system where you can put people into it and have automation. Excel spreadsheets are not databases because you can't automate them. Automation means emails, like right now, I have over 1,900 emails that go out every single month. No, it's probably 2,100 now that goes out every single month reminding people I'm in real estate. I said it in 2019. I have not touched it since. I mean, I add people to it, but I haven't touched it. So that's why I said it works while you sleep. Thursday night, you'll be learning a lot about the technology of how to do that, right? It's magical. The handwritten notes we talked about. And then finally, that 10-5-1, that is super crucial these days. And what the 10-5-1 stands for is 10 likes. In case you know how when you scroll, whether it's on Instagram or Facebook, you're just scrolling and clicking the heart or like button. This is daily, by the way. 10 likes, 5 comments, because when you comment on things, it moves you into it moves your algorithm up for that individual. So they will see your information more often. They'll be more likely to see you on their scroll feed. Okay. And then 1 direct message per day, preferably about real estate. Preferably. It doesn't have to be, but preferably. Really, now it's about connections, right? However, if you're going to do something that's not real estate related, make sure your social media, your what's it called, your bios, your profiles, etc., they all say like you're in there and it says you're a social media. Unless you work for a company that if you do that, you'll get fired. We have an agent who works with us who cannot do anything on social media, or her other job will fire her. So there's an exception. Okay. So again, that's the 10-5-1 model. 10 likes, 5 comments, 1 direct message per day. Questions on the daily success system? Remember in the beginning I said, everything is about taking action, especially in this 5 weeks of Ignite, right? So every session of Ignite, you want to, this will be shown every single session. So we're building a habit. Now, if you're like, I'm really struggling getting 10 people a day I'm talking to, okay, this week, can you do 5? Can you text 5? Or can you text as many people you need to text to get 5 responses back? And then next week, can you do 6 a day? And then can you add 1 more? Can you do 7 a day? We're building a habit. Real estate is a journey. It is not instant gratification. That was the hardest lesson I had to learn. It's a journey. All right. So we're going to open up for a little questions. Then we're going to dive into the next part of tonight's session. And we're going to start the next session with a really, really fun activity that gets you into action together. Don't worry, you're not going to be picking up the phone and making a phone call, but we are going to take some action. The screen I have up right now is my midpoint, stop point, to ask everybody on here for a favor. So I'm a Keller Williams University certified trainer. It took me 3+ years to obtain that. Multiple classes, lots of trial, lots of doing these classes and getting feedback to learn and improve. I love feedback. So if you wouldn't mind going to, this, by the way, this will only take literally like 45 seconds. Go to kwueval.com. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to go directly to the website because that'll be way easier to share. Okay, here we go. So it's kwueval.com. So just like all of you have goals in real estate, my goal, just to share a personal goal, is to become what's called master faculty. And to be master faculty, I need 300 surveys. 300 surveys to be allowed to what's called audition for that. So when you go to kwueval.com, I put that in the chat box. You're going to put in your region, wherever you're located. This is virtual. You're going to select the drop down, scroll all the way down where you see Ignite 4, define your value. My name is in the drop down. I used to be the only I. Someone else got it. That's exciting. Ian's wonderful. So now I'm the second I. So it's Ilana Hubert Katz right above the J's, under the H's. And then you literally have 2 questions, and that's it. I love 5s. but I also love honesty. So your feedback is welcome.
Can you scroll up, Ilana? What do we have to put in for the course name again? Oh,
Oh.
Ignite 4. Oh,
Yep, Ignite 4. Yep. Thank you so much.
thank you.
All right. As you are all doing this, I really appreciate it. I want to just look in the chat box, see if there are, well, thank you for sharing that in the chat box, everybody. I want to just see if there's any questions before regarding the value proposition, regarding the daily success activities before we move on.
So I do have a question about the daily success activities, and Ilana probably chewed your brains off during our mentoring sessions.
No, you're good.
So how do you have real estate related conversations without coming across or without our sphere of influence feeling like, oh my God, there she goes again with her real estate stuff? Like, how do you kind of weave it into your conversation?
That's a really good question. And I will tell you that one, it takes confidence. Two, it takes a mindset of, I'm truly here to help people. Like, I don't want my friends and family to get stuck with, I'm going to say this, an agent who's never been trained, unethical. I have a family member who actually used a different agent. They did not let me refer them anybody. They're in a different state and they didn't want me a part of any of it. And they regretted it. They shared afterwards, their agent that they chose, took advantage of them. Very unethical. And I felt bad because I should have pushed harder for educating them on why they should allow me to help them connect with someone in that state. I wasn't licensed in that state, but at least let me connect you with someone good, right? So one, it's a mindset thing. Like, know that you're genuinely coming from a place of, I want to help you for when you're ready. The second thing to that is nobody will come to you. If you never ask, the answer will always be no. Unfortunately, not unfortunately, it is what it is. The non-agent population, I refer to them as the outside world, by the way. So the outside world, not us, we're the inside world. The outside world they don't know anything about what real estate agents do. They hear stories, they see Google, whatever, they watch HGTV, but they don't know what we do. So if we don't teach them what we do, we don't educate them, they just think we are making millions every day, driving Ferraris and Lamborghinis, right? I literally had somebody I worked with years ago at a university. I was a director at a university years ago, and I ran into a coworker 6 years after the university shut down at a grocery store. Oh my God, how have you been? The kids, et cetera, et cetera. What are you doing these days? By the way, anytime someone says, what are you up to these days? Always say real estate. If you have any other job, do not say it. They will only hear the other job then. So only say real estate. That's a little secret. There's a psychology with that. So I was like, oh, I'm in real estate now. And he goes, oh, shoot, you must be balling. You're making like tons of money. Like, what are you driving? That's crazy. You're like super rich now. Huh? No. I am waking up broke every day. I'm 1 year in, right? Like, no, I'll get there, but no. But that's what they think. So we have to educate them. So the way to do that, I'll give you a little short answer, is simply just and take this and make it your own personality, by the way. So I'm going to say it in my own way. You have to make it yourself. All right. So I might be like Joe, if I'm texting you, I'm probably going to text you. Now, if I haven't talked to you for a while, I'm not going to bring up real estate. I'm probably going to be like, how have you been? What are you up to? And it will morph into you asking me what I've been up to. But if we've been connecting, we've been talking, we're friends. Hey, Joe, just putting together some goals for my real estate business. So I'm just letting you know, I'm educating you. I'm just putting together some goals for my real estate business for 2026. This is literally what I'm going to say right now in October and November and December. Just want to reach out to see if you had any real estate needs next year that I could help with. That's it. Just reaching out to see if any real estate needs I can help with. Now you can go a step further and be like, if you or anyone you know have any real estate needs that I could help with. You can take it even one step further and said, you or anyone you know have any real estate needs I can help with. Even if it's you need a good landscaper or cleaner or roofer, Just want to be a resource,
Got
right? So we're not saying, hi, are you looking to buy or sell a house?
it.
Right? Don't say that, right? It's funny. People always joke when I train, like I have friends of mine who are not in real estate and they think I train people on saying that. And I'm like, no, like that you don't want to, that's salesy. Don't do that. Right. So just organically change that into what makes sense to you.
Got it.
Yep.
Thank
Great
you.
question. Thank you for asking that. Okay. It is activity time. You guys ready? Thank you, by the way, so much for doing the survey.
Yes.
Oh my God. Is that Coach Tyrone? What's up? Oh my God, I love it. Oh, we have some famous people on this call today. I love this. Okay. Here is the activity we are all going to do. We are going to text or DM. I don't care which one you do, but you have to choose one. You're going to text people or DM people. We're going to put a little timer on for just 5 minutes. That's it. Nothing long, 5 minutes. And what you're going to text them, similar thing as I just shared with Joe, which is you're simply going to text them. By the way, I don't care who you text or DM. It could be your mom, sister, cousin, uncle, whoever it is. Okay. How many people can you copy, paste, text and DM? One person actually had a group text thing, and they did a video and just shot a video of this and sent it to 32 people at one time. Nobody's beat 32 in this 5 minutes. Let's see what happens. So your text or DM or video is simply letting people know. I'll give you 2 examples of this. Then I'm going to give you about 20 seconds to formulate yourself, and then we're going to do this. Hey, I'm reaching. No, me, I'm a hey person. You know, hey, Autumn, just reaching out. How have you been? I'm also a how you've been person. How have you been? Just reaching out to friends and family to see if you have any real estate goals next year or anybody you know that I can help. Okay, that's what's called the purpose. That's called texting with a purpose. Real estate purpose, a purposeful text. Right. Now, you could also, now the second version of that, by the way, nothing bad ever happened with this activity. I've now done this, I don't even know how many hundreds of times. Only good things come. Now, if you're sitting there going, oh my God, I just got licensed yesterday. What if someone comes back and says, yes, that happened last week. I did this session with a group of agents in my office last week. We did this activity for 5 minutes. One of the agents before the end of the class goes, oh, beep. Someone just responded saying they're looking to buy a house. Greatest problem you can have. You have support wherever you are, especially if you're with Keller Williams, wherever you are, you have support. Reach out to somebody in your office, whether it is a coach, whether it is leadership, whether it is another agent. If you don't know who to reach out to and you're like, oh my God, help me, and you're with a different brokerage, reach out to me. I will help you. Okay. Don't fear the yes. Do not fear the yes, or you'll never have business because you got to have a yes sometime. All right. So you're going to text or DM a simple, hey, put the name in there. Just reaching out to people I know to see if you have any real estate goals next year that I can help with, or if there's anyone you know. That's it. Questions on this? I will be here to guide anybody through any mindset things that you might need. So feel free to put in the chat box if you need to get a little boost of mindset. Nothing bad will happen. And a trick to this is copy, paste, copy, paste. Just remember to change people's names. The first time I did this activity myself, I forgot and everybody was Barry. That is a true story. Everybody was Barry. Now, it did promote a lot of laughs because most of my friends knew who Barry was. So laughter is good. Hunter, do I see a question?
Yes, I did have a question. This has kind of been sitting on my mind for a little bit, so sorry, it might be a little just out of nowhere. But when sending letters, a common thing, oh, I can lower my hand. A common thing that I kind of run into is, how to even ask for like an address. It seems like kind of in the modern day, that's just like not necessarily something on the forefront of just asking, randomly. So I just kind of curious how you would potentially phrase it, or any tricks or anything that you might have.
Hey, just to clarify, asking for like what their like where they live, like their address.
Yes, just to like where they live, so you could send them like a handwritten note.
Oh yeah.
To
So yep. By the way, that's also a great text to send people. What we could do is a simple the way I like to ask it is, hey, you know what? I don't think I have your updated address. Now, here's the thing. I'm about to say something, but if you're not going to do this, don't do what I'm about to say. Hey, I don't think I have your updated address, and I'm looking to just, holidays are coming up, looking to send some cards out and everything, and I need to know where to send it. So
that's
do
good.
not do that if you plan to not send cards. I did that 2 years ago, and I did not send cards. And trust me, they remembered.
Oh
And
no.
my friends reached out and was like, you never sent me a card. I'm like, yep, you're right. I did not.
Okay.
So, but that's right now, this time of year is the easiest time to reconnect with people, ask them for their address, get information, ask them what their needs are for next year, educate them on your goals in real estate because it's literally the end of the year, which is crazy. Okay. Shannon, then we're going to start the activity.
Yeah, I was just going to piggyback off of what you just said about doing, asking for addresses when you reach out to them about, Popeyes or holiday cards. Hey, I enter my clients into raffles and my friends and family. So I'd love to add you to, the random Popeyes throughout the year. This way you're not obligated to, the next, a monthly or quarterly. You just say, I randomly pop it up. And usually people love to, to give that address to you for that reason.
Oh yeah, yeah. Anything if you're gonna give something or hand something out or mail something, it's people. Trust me, people have no problem receiving things. I do want to share. There is in the chat box. Thank you so much. I'm gonna mispronounce her name. I think is it Taya. She shared that she does these text messages and DMs. She says, "Hi, name. I hope all is well. I just want to let you know personally." I am officially a realtor in Southern Middle Tennessee. If you or anyone you know has any real estate needs, feel free to share my name or reach out. Fantastic. Love that. Okay, we're going to get started. 5 minutes is going to go on the clock. How many can you send in 5 minutes? If someone calls you, ignore the phone call. You can call them after this. Nothing bad's going to happen. Call them after this. If they text you back, you can respond after. Just let them know you were in class. Just blame me. Okay. I don't want to lose anybody. All right, timer has started. 5 minutes is on the clock, and let's go ahead and send. And unfortunately, my Spotify stopped working, or I'd get some music going for all of us. And if I wish to sing, you would all just immediately leave and change your survey results if they were good results. I'm not a singer. Again, just do not overthink this. Don't just scroll through names and be like, no, 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 just send it. Even if somebody is in a different state, send it. We have referral partners everywhere. I'm not licensed in Virginia, but I have go-to people in Virginia. I'm not licensed in Tennessee, but I have go-to people in 2 different parts of Tennessee. I'll actually be at Tennessee at the end of this month, teaching a class. I just met someone in Dallas last week who was an Uber driver who's looking to buy a house, and I'm connecting them with an agent I know in Dallas. Real estate is everywhere. Do not overthink this. Do not fear the yes. Nothing bad will happen, I promise you.
Elena, I have a question. This is
Yeah.
Candy.
Hi.
I did an ethics course at my work about like, I don't know, they were like talking about conflict of interest and all this other stuff. So, my thought was like, oh, I'm gonna share, my information with my coworkers at work. But then after I did the ethics training, I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't. So a lot of people online right now are dual careers. So how do you go about doing that? I mean, because in some way I feel like I want to share, but then I don't want to create something that, you know what I mean? So how do you go about, from your
So if I'm
experience?
hearing, yeah, if I'm hearing you correctly, it's how do you share with people you work with your other thing you do without it coming across as, is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, like, I mean, I have to go back to the training again, but that kind of scared me because after I got my license, I was like, oh my gosh, I can tell my whole team and then this team and this team. Like, I was like feeling like, oh, I could do all this. But then it stopped me, and I haven't talked to my trainer yet, but because I've only started, it's only been 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And no one knows except my family that I'm a realtor. But that really kind of made me kind of scared in terms of like
Yeah, I definitely understand that. So a few things. One, I always will preface this by saying everybody's job is different. So you need to understand. I don't know your position at your works, right? So anybody on here, you need to understand what you are and are not allowed to do if you have a full-time job somewhere.
mhm.
Because so before you start talking real estate, definitely make sure it's okay that you talk to people. The second part of that is once you make sure it's okay, it's not something you're not gonna take your 9 to 5 and walk around and be like,
Yeah, right.
but it's just, think about it in a very organic way, right? Who do we know? Who do we have on our phones? Our phones is the greatest source of business right here. On average, every year, when real estate agents tap in to what's on this thing, meaning reaching out to them, asking them if they have real estate needs, right? Or if they know anybody for referrals, on average, agents yield about 6% results of this year over year. What that means is if you have 400 people on your phone, that's about 24 closings. Now, not everything closes, not everybody signs with you. So you're probably looking at a little less, maybe like 20, I would say, but that's 20 closings, right? Just from this thing. And that's not even including who we have on social media. That's not even including, right, our dentist, our doctor, there's an email, one of the emails that came to all of you. I need to check the time. Hold on, let me check the stopwatch for, okay, it's about to beep. One of the emails and there's 5 minutes, that came to all of you. And if you didn't receive it, you will receive it because it's literally going to come out pretty much every single day this week, with a workbook and reminders, is a bunch of different, we call them brain rattler activities. So it's just getting you thinking of who else do you know, right? Like I was just at the dentist last week. I have to go back. And we were talking about real estate while I was there. Right? When you go to the doctors, I was at the hairdresser a week ago. I went
Yeah,
short.
I
We
pretty
talked about
much
real estate.
get that, but I guess my thing is like I feel like I'm going to work and I'm kind of like I want to tell them, but then I'm kind of scared because it might be something with ethics. Um,
Yeah, so I would
so
start, I mean, you'll need to, again, when it comes to a 9 to 5, always err on the side of caution because you never want to put yourself in a position where you get fired or lose your job.
right,
So err on the side of caution, reach out to others outside of work. And if you have a connection at work where you can find things out, I would say that.
got
All right, time is
okay.
up. What you're
Thank
all going to do
you.
is throw in the chat box right now. Throw in the chat box approximately how many did you send out? Not how many received back, but how many did you send out? What do people send out there? I see 10, I see 20, I see 5, I see 26, 12, 5, 19, 10, 9, 12. These are great. By the way, even if you sent one, I want all of you to take your right hand, hold it up in the air, bring it over to your shoulder. Everybody do one of these? I'm watching you right now. You're not doing it. I see like 2 people. And do one of these. Everybody do one of these. Okay, there we go. All right. You all did lead gen. That right there was lead generation. So on those days where you're like, oh my God, I don't have time. I didn't do it yesterday. I only have like 30 minutes before I have to make dinner for the family. Can you put a timer on your phone for, let's say, 15 minutes and do that activity? We just did activity for 5 minutes and I lost the message in the chat box. Here it is. Christina, I'm giving a shout out to Christina Robinson, got a request for a meeting. They want to sell. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Potential seller, potential listing appointment right there. Okay. Can we all just give a reaction right now? Give one of these reactions, get a little hand clap going.
Again, good question. So what was the I had put a message for when need to be sent out?
What was the question?
I was asking what was supposed to be sent out on the text because I missed that part. I had took a break.
Oh, so it was, and I might, you know what? I'm actually going to copy the one that an agent in here put. Oh, will not let me copy and paste in Zoom right now. So it's basically, hi, hope all's well. Just want to let you know, officially I'm a realtor in whatever location you're in. If you or anyone you know is in a real estate needs, feel free to share my name or reach out. That's one example. My example was, hi, I'm just reaching out to my friends and family just to see what real estate goals you have next year that I could help with. Called a purposeful real estate text, I like to call it, or DM on social media. And I'll also, in the emails that go out this week, share a few different examples that you can make your own, right? So you always want to put your stamp to it, right? What's your voice to it, to always stay genuine. All right. How's everybody feel? Was that scary? Feel good about that? See, like head nods, smiles. Yeah,
Feels
heart.
good, but it's also disheartening when you don't get any reaction to your message from like those 27 people. You feel like, oh.
And that's going to happen. So there's a phrase that I say way too often, and it's stay the course. The activities you do will show up. You will see results within 90 days. If you try something for a day or two and it doesn't work and you give up, you will never see results. If you try something for a week and you switch gears and try something different, and I call it pop-tarting around, it will never work. You have to stay the course and keep connecting with people and connecting with people and connecting with people, and it will pop. I promise you that. It will happen. It will not happen overnight. It will probably not even happen in a week or two. Minus that one instance that just occurred just now in 5 minutes. That's very rare. I love that. Super success. That doesn't always happen.
It's almost 8
but it will.
o'clock where I am, so just by the time frame, it may be somebody who will reply tomorrow.
Yeah, no, exactly, right? We don't know what people are doing, where people are, right? I text my niece and I receive a response back about 3 weeks later. I text
I
my
have a
brother,
question.
usually about 5 days later. Yes.
So I recently contacted a lot of people on my database because I'm in bold. So I have to meet my 100 each week. How do I go about like letting them know or asking them if they know someone, if you recently contacted them?
Oh, if you've already contacted them?
Yeah, like, hey, how are you? Like, because I haven't talked to them in a while.
You know what? If we have recently, like if we just talked to them like in the last week, then who else do we have on social media? Who else can we find? Use the brain rattler in the email that went out and the Ignite email. It's going to kind of jog some thoughts on who you can reach out to, other people maybe. But also, honestly, I like to have fun with these things. Just create some fun around it. So there's nothing wrong with calling a friend up and saying, all right, now again, I'm going to use an example, make it your own. But I might call Rebecca and be like, hey, Rebecca, listen, I know we just talked last week, but I'm actually in a class this week. I'm in a training and they are, you remember I messaged you, we talked about real estate. Okay. So it's a real estate training, obviously. And we're in a little competition. Now, when I call my friends, they know I'm very competitive. So I'm like, so they're like, oh, I know you want to win. And I'm like, yes, so here's the deal. Who can get the most referrals no matter where they are in the entire nation or even world? So is there anyone you can think of, anybody you know who might have a real estate need that I can reach out to? So it's just kind of, it's getting them to rethink about it a different way, in a fun way, right? So again,
Is posting on social media from like every day and from time to time reminding them that you're a realtor a good thing too? Or
yes,
like
but
a
again,
substitution?
you want to, so in social media, you definitely want to, 20% of what you post should be real estate related, 80% more personal, relatable stuff. And because and when we post real estate, we want to do it in an organic and educational and value-based way, not, hi, I'm in real estate, here's a house. Hi, I'm in real estate, here's a house. Hi, I'm in real estate, here's a house. They will tune you out. Yep. All right. We are going to move on now because we need to get into talking about the market. The good news is that this one is a shorter informational guide because there are tools nowadays to get the information on the market very quickly. Literally, if you go to ChatGPT and you actually, I'm going to share it with you. Let me, oops, give me 1 second here. If you actually go to, I'll show you what I did here. Here it is. So I went to ChatGPT and I said, act as a real estate trainer. What is the real estate market like for sellers right now? And I live in Howard County, Maryland. Now, again, be aware of the data. It is not always correct. It is not always accurate. This gives you some information to start talking confidently, right? So it can talk about medium sell price. That's pretty true. List price, listing inventory, closed sales price, days on market. That's kind of accurate. That's accurate. I know where I live, et cetera, et cetera. So one quick way to learn the market in your specific area is tonight when we're off this Zoom, jump on ChatGPT and simply say, act as a real estate. You can say real estate agent, real estate trainer. I'm a trainer, so I typically use that. Act as a real estate agent. And what is the real estate market like for sellers right now in blank? You can then say, and for buyers right now in blank, right? Blank being your area.
Hey, Ilana, can I ask a quick question? Not related to this. So is there going to be any training sessions on how new agents can host like real estate seminars or have workshops kind of, is that a topic?
Yeah, we will be doing, and it's on Zoom. So being that you're asking this question right here on Ignite, I will absolutely share it with I'll share the Zoom link with everybody and everybody's invited. But towards the end of a year, I always host a how to host seminars event. I just don't have a date for it yet. So stay tuned for that. But
Okay,
yes.
cool.
And again,
Awesome.
since she asked on, everybody thank Joe, because since she brought this up on here and she happens to be in my one of my market centers, everybody here is getting the invite. It's on Zoom. We can all have a big party on there. All right. So 3 types of real estate markets. There's a buyer's market, more than 7 months of inventory, a balanced market from 5 to 7 months of inventory, and a seller's market, less than 5 months of inventory. Okay. Inventory means the number of properties for sale within a market. Now, when I first started out in real estate, it was looking this information up, even though easy through multiple listing service. National Association of Realtors is more national, not local, but every one of your locations has a local Association of Realtors website. For example, Maryland, we have the Maryland Association of Realtors website. We also have local boards or associations you're part of. They usually have websites with data as well. So there's a ton of resources out there to actually just pull this information for you. When I first started, a lot of that not all of those places, it did exist, but not as helpful. So honestly, when I first started, I drove around a lot. I would just drive all throughout I live in a county, so all throughout my county, just to take note of, okay, right now there's tons of listings, but then all of a sudden, a month later, I'm driving around and there's no listings. Right. So currently where I live, there are 13 homes up for the market. Literally in my townhouse community, 13 houses. By the way, that's a lot. 2 months ago, there were 0. They all popped up overnight. Like every one of them just overnight. So just driving around and really just taking note of areas is also just I don't want to say easier, but another added tool to just get to know locations, right? You are not, well, okay, you might be, but you are real estate agents. On this call, you're real estate agents. I know a few of you on here are both lenders and agents, but on this call, you're real estate agents. You are not the lender. However, you do want to understand that world. You don't want to speak their language because that's the job of the lender, but you do need to have enough information to be able to talk to people about today's rates. Have they gone down? Have they gone up? Rates recently, what was this? Maybe a month ago or so. I remember the rates dropped a little bit and everybody was doing social media posts. When you see rates drop a little bit, it's a great time to do a social media post about that. That's a great thing to post about because people who have been on the fence about buying see that and then are like, oh my God, I need to jump on this. Okay. Economic factors plays a huge part in the market, right? What's the employment rate? What's the unemployment rate? Here in the Maryland, DC area, we have huge economic factors happening with the government. This is not a political conversation, it's just is what it is. So as real estate agents here in Maryland and DC, we have to understand that because a lot of the agents currently working with buyers, those buyers have to put looking for homes on hold, right? My good friend who works at the FBI is currently working, but without pay, right? So if she was currently looking to buy, she'd have to put that on hold, right? So understanding how economic factors play into it and the human factor, we're not gonna say, well, no, you need to buy. They can't. They might be losing their job. They might not be getting a pay, right? The growth rate, right? California back in the day, not back in the day, a few years ago, California had a huge exodus of people going from California to Austin, Texas for jobs. So just understanding if you live in a certain part of California where that was happening, and as a real estate agent, understanding, right, just through the news, honestly, that was huge on TikTok. I learned that one through TikTok, to be honest with you. I don't live in California. My brother does, but I learned it through TikTok. But just understanding how those factors play into things. Okay. Other important market factors, just neighborhood numbers, nearby shops, restaurants, are things busy? Are they closing down? Are they opening new things? Surges of things usually mean that they are growing and expanding, which usually means that there is going to be an influx of typically buyers, right? Understanding the neighborhood's attractions. This is just so you can talk to it as well, right? Knowing that, now can't talk about schools. We can direct them to school websites, but to look it up themselves. But we can absolutely talk about walking distance to local shops or restaurants or dog parks, by knowing the market, what you're doing is you're building your expertise. You're also exuding confidence, right? The more you know about the market, the more confident you are going to feel. Even if you have not sold a house yet, you will feel more confident. Now I'm gonna say this, be careful. Are there any perfectionists on this call? Any people who would deem themselves a perfectionist a little bit? Like dot the I, cross the T, let me line everything up. There's usually a good handful. Yep, okay. There's usually a large portion of individuals who are. Be very careful. There's nothing wrong with that, by the way. Be very, very careful as a perfectionist I can sometimes be that. As a perfectionist, you could go down a rabbit hole of research, spend so much time researching that you don't do any time on the activities you need to do. Meaning you're going to know a lot of information, but you're never going to have a client. Okay, so just be mindful of time. A good rule of thumb or a best practice is in your week, look at your calendar and schedule. So you can do this one of two ways. You can sit down and schedule 1 hour a week. That's it, 1 hour a week to play on the multiple listing service or the local association of realtors website, or you can even go to ChatGPT a little bit, right? Go to different sites and for 1 hour a week, learn the market around you. Start local and branch out. So I live in Maryland where there's counties. So I live in Howard County, but I work in the surrounding counties. So I wanted to master Howard County, and then what other counties am I willing to drive to work with people? So again, 4 steps to building expertise. 1, we talked about learn the market. Learn your clientele. Who are your clients? One of our agents in one of our market centers, he really wanted to tap into the luxury market. He got in as a brand new agent, age 19, and he's like, I want to work the luxury market. So he positioned himself in local places where luxury market individuals would be. He joined a country club. He would go to luxury car shops, not to buy a car, didn't have the money yet, but he would go there, right? Just be where the clientele are, right? To learn the clientele he wants to work with. Listen to individuals. All right. The 80-20 principle, I can't use that enough. It's in here as well. 80% of the time you should be listening, 20% talking. If you find yourself talking 80% of the time, you are most likely talking yourself out of them wanting to work with you. Which, by the way, as a newer agent, that will happen. Trust me, you can all tell that I can talk. I 100% talked myself out of many appointments and many signatures because I talk too much. Okay, I had to learn how to go in there and just ask questions. The best thing you can do is ask questions. Okay. And just keep the headlines in context. What that means, just understand what's happening in the world. Not, don't talk politics, keep politics and all of that out of conversations. You don't know people's beliefs. You don't know any of that. You don't want to offend anybody. But when I say headlines, just understanding the world around us to understand how to best help people. Okay, we talked about language of real estate. Those are the numbers, right? Know your business, right? It also changes over time, right? Not only does your business change over time, you will change over time, and the market changes as well. So everything is always changing within real estate. You, the business, the market. So just accepting that and knowing that that's going to happen. Again, we talked about learning the clientele, right? Who are the buyers? Who are the sellers? Right? Does the market benefit benefit your clients? Does it put them at risk at all? Right? If someone has, they're moving into a certain area where, they're moving into a certain area where people are all moving out of that area and businesses are closing down. Now, we don't have a crystal ball, so we cannot guarantee anything. We cannot promise anything. I moved to a location that there was an entire plan that was put in place by the county, and it was a 10-year revitalization plan. Meaning get in early, prices going up. Did that happen a little bit? Yes. Did the plan get halted? Yes. So again, be careful what you share with your clients. Don't promise them things. You do not know the future. You cannot know if houses prices are going to go down or up. We can read research, but we can't promise it. Nobody predicted that 2020 house prices would go up at all. Nobody predicted that at all. Everybody thought it was going to take a dip. They skyrocketed. I'm not going to harp on the screen because Thursday night, you're going to learn all about the different tools and different leveraging of technology that you can use. Just know that those Thursday nights, even if you are a guest on here, meaning you're with different brokerages, so you're not using Command, Thursday nights are still really important for you because you can learn how to leverage whatever platform you're using. Or if you're on here, you're on a team and they're using a different technology. Every technology platform has automated emails, automated text, usually automation systems that you can use. So Thursday will really teach you how to do that. For all of you on here with Keller Williams, you do have an app on your phone called KW Command. You also have an app on your phone that is the Real Estate Buyers and Sellers app. If you type in the App Store Keller Williams, they both come up. There's two apps. I will tell you not the Command app, but the other one, the Real Estate Buyers and Sellers app. That is really fun to play with when you're driving through areas, right? So again, I was just in Dallas. We were in an area, the houses were beautiful. I pulled up the app. I say current location. It showed me all the houses that were for sale and what the prices were and how many days on market. So right now you can pull up the app, look at your current location, and it will give you what's on the market right now in your area. And it's really fun to play with when you travel.
What is
Sorry,
this
Steve,
called again?
if you go to the App Store and just type in Keller Williams, there's two apps. One's Command and the other one is buy and sell real estate. It's just easier to look it up by typing Keller Williams though. One's like a red box with a white KW and one's a white box with a red KW. Eve, I see your hand raised. Was that from earlier? I didn't want to miss you there.
I see KW
Yes,
Real
it was.
Estate.
Sorry.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah, I see KW Real Estate. Is that the one?
It looks like, hold on. I'm gonna share with you exactly what it looks like here. Give me 1 second.
This
Yeah.
is what it looks like. Okay. And can you see it?
Oh, hold on 1 second. Oh, sorry, go ahead and show your screen.
It's not, it's on my phone.
Oh, okay. Hold on. I'm gonna just share it in the chat box for
Yeah.
all of you so everybody has it. Give me 1 second while I pull that up. One second here. All right, there we go. I am going to share this link with everybody. This is the link of how to get started. It also is a really helpful link that has a great search bar. It's one of my favorite links to go to for asking questions, anything technology related of Keller Williams, answers.kw.com. The link I just shared is the app I just talked about. But when you go there, I'll have tons of other links you can click on to learn how to use it, how to share it, how to download it. You'll also be learning all of this on Thursday nights throughout Ignite. Every Thursday will be a technology trainer who is teaching that. All right. So we have a few minutes left. I talked about this in the last slide. I wanted to bring it up again because it's so, so important. And that is establishing your business on social media and doing what's called, again, the daily 10-5-1. The daily 10-5-1 is, again, liking, hearting 10 things a day, commenting, 5 different comments throughout the day, and 1 direct message. By the way, the direct message could be real estate related, but it also can be just relationship related. Maybe you send a message to someone who, instead of commenting happy birthday, you direct message them happy birthday. Make it more meaningful. Maybe you see on social media that someone had, I don't know, something happened that day, or they made a cool post, or they just showed a picture of something they ate and it looked really yummy. Somebody posted something last night. It was like a milkshake type thing on one of my feeds, and it looked amazing. I don't know what it was. So instead of commenting, I sent them a DM and I was like, oh my God, what is that drink? That looked amazing. Right? What you're doing there is, one, you're just building stronger connections with people, because real estate's about connections. And the second thing is you're improving your algorithm so that way you are showing up more in their feeds. So they are more likely to see you on social media. Yes, I love that, Melanie. I joined a bunch of local Facebook groups and answer questions or comments on people's pictures. Definitely. If you have local groups in your community, anywhere where you live, join them. That is an amazing, amazing place to connect with new people, to meet new people, to help people, and when you answer their questions and or comment on their things, they're going to most likely friend you, but you're now going to show up in their feed more. So they're going to see that you're in real estate as long as you update your profile that you're in real estate. All right. So the final thing is going over, once again, this daily 10-4, which is so, so, so crucial. Okay. 10 conversations per day. Adding people to your database every day. 10 handwritten notes. If you can do that per week, that'd be great. This says per day. I'm saying per week to make it a little more realistic, to put yourself out there and get started. And then again, that 10-5-1 social media engagement, right? Study your market center reports, preview homes. By the way, oh, I forgot to say that in one of the past slides. One of the greatest ways to learn the market, go see houses. Go to open houses, go set up showings for yourself, go view homes. The more you visit homes, the faster you're going to learn the market, right? Multiple Listing Services has great trainings. Take their trainings. They teach a lot. Again, visit or hold open houses. Understand the language of real estate. Read the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book. Okay. I will end with this slide. It's kind of like a bonus slide on here, right? And it just is a picture for your big life. Okay, so as you're getting started, right, this is the kickoff of Ignite. A lot of the other nights are, again, one night is literally all about negotiation tactics. How do you negotiate with the other agents? How do you negotiate with inspections? How do you negotiate that? One of the nights is talking about how do you qualify and truly win the seller so they sign with you, right? So they're very specific. Tonight is the launch of Ignite, right, to kick things off. As you're going through Ignite, start thinking about, what do you want your life by design to look like? What do you want? Whether you want to think about just 1 year, what do you want next year to look like in real estate? Or you want to think bigger and say, what do I want 3 years to look like? What do you want 5 years? Everybody's brains work differently. Some people are like, oh my God, I can't even think past December. Cool. What do you want just the rest of this year to look like? Right? What do you want to achieve? And then what is that going to do for you? That's the most important part. Not, I'm in real estate because I like helping people and I want to make more money. I want flexibility. That's, by the way, that's wonderful. Love all of that. But why? What does more money look like to you? What will that then do for you or your friends or your family, whoever it is? Right? Is it a trip? Is it paying off debt? Right? So just give some thought to not just, I'm in real estate, I want to help buyers and sellers, but why are you in real estate? And the biggest reason I'm saying that is, and by the way, we're about to take a social media picture. So if you're just giving you a preview right now, or not a preview, a heads up. I'm giving you a little heads up. We're going to take a screenshot in about 30 seconds-ish. I'm going to use the ish. So if you want to be on the social media picture, put your cameras on. If not, turn your cameras off. We're going to do a pose in a minute. But again, think about that big life. Think about why you want to do real estate, because in the beginning we said real estate is 100% mindset. Someone said 10,000% mindset, right? You wake up and make a choice every day. What are you going to do in your real estate career? And it's going to be hard at times. It will absolutely be difficult. Every single year, every agent has a moment where it's difficult. It just happens every year. I've never had a year where it's not, right? It's more rewarding than difficult now. It gets easier, it gets way easier. But you need to know why you're doing this for yourself, so you can remind yourself of that in those days that are difficult to push you forward and do those activities. We call that the big why, by the way. So when you hear the words big why, that's what that means. What gets you out of bed to do real estate? All right, you guys ready for a little social media? All right, so we have a bunch of screens. So it's going to take a little bit here because one time I did this and I didn't take a screenshot and people got, so I'm hopefully going to capture everybody, but I can't promise. So if somebody else wants to capture some, that'd be great. I am going to share in the chat box my handle. If you post anything and you tag me, I will reshare it out, which also captures more followers for you by having other people reshare your posts. So I will reshare it out on every one of my platforms if you post anything to get you more views. Trying to think of the words I was looking for, views. Okay, so there's my handle there, Instagram handle, by the way. All right, you guys ready for a picture? I gotta get this off the screen. Okay, in. Everybody do a pose, everybody do something fun, whatever it looks like. All right, hold on, I'm gonna do moving screen share, so hold it. I appreciate all your patience, moving through a lot of people here. Do another one. Okay, we're gonna move on here. We're gonna do, I think I have 2 more to do because we have a bunch of screens. All right, you guys ready? Another one. All right, I think I have 1 more. Yep, last one. All right, last one. All right, ready? Okay. All right. Oh my God, that was so much fun. So I'm going to share all of these in the chat box right now so you all have them. I'm going to apologize in advance if you're not showing up on the screen. I cannot predict what Zoom does when I do these things. So take whichever ones you want, leave whichever ones you want. If you took some, tag me in them. If you know other friends and family, not friends and family, agents on here, tag them. And by the way, any Ignite class you are in, I highly recommend at some point in Ignite asking the instructor if you can do that. If you're ever wondering, what do I post on social media? Do fun things like this. Whenever you take a class, oh my God, let me take a quick picture of me and my computer. Real estate in today. There you go. Just real estate in today. That's all I'll say, right? Life of a real estate agent, right? Or learning, #real estate agent. That's all you need to do. Don't overthink it. Do not overthink it. We do too much of that. We being me as well, by the way. All right. I know we went a little bit over. Thank you so much. I'll hang out for another minute or two just in case anybody wanted to stick around and ask any final questions or other questions.
Thank you, Alana.
Thank you all so much. Have an amazing evening. Tomorrow night, same place, same time, different instructor who's amazing, by the way. You're going to love them.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Good night.
It was a great class.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great night, everyone.
Read your comments.
Oh, I am reading my
Thank
comments.
you.
Wonderful. Puts a huge smile on my face. That and people using the reaction buttons. That's like my favorite thing on Zoom. I just saw the thumbs up. Love that. All right, everybody. Have a great evening. Get some rest and don't forget to take action.
Thank you for the class. It was great information.
Wonderful. Bye, everyone.
Yes, bye.
Thank you.